Okay, Assalamualaikum. We are still in the economic solution to environmental problem. In other words, we are looking at the market approach. The last form of market approach that I wish you to know is called the pollution permit trading system. What is the pollution permit trading system? It is a market that is established for pollution. So a pollution permit trading system actually establishes a market for rights to pollute by issuing either pollution credits or pollution allowances. So the kind of permits that can be obtained by polluters can be of two forms. One can be called pollution credits or tradable pollution credits. These are permits which are tradable, which can be sold in the market. So these are permits that are issued for emitting below an established abatement standard. In order to encourage polluters to emit below established standard, they are sometimes given these pollution credits, meaning the credits can be sold to other polluters and they can earn money from it. Another form of pollution permit is called pollution allowance or tradable pollution allowance. These are also tradable permits, but these are permits that will indicate the maximum level of pollution that can be released. A highly polluting firm may want to obtain pollution allowances, and a low-cost abater may want to obtain pollution credits. These credits, pollution credit, can be sold and can generate revenue, while for pollution allowance are usually needed for firms for them to produce, and at the same time they cannot avoid polluting. Okay, in order to understand the system, there are two components of the system. Usually a fixed number of permit is issued based on an acceptable level of pollution set by government. Okay, the government will determine how many polluters, will look at how many polluters are there in the region, and then the government will decide how many permits will be allowed to be given or to be obtained through auction or to be sold at a price to polluters. Usually it is determined based on how much pollution is allowed. If let's say a 10 tons of pollution allowed for a certain gas, then maybe they are releasing 10 permits, something like that. Okay, and the permits are marketable. So with marketable permits, there can be bargaining between those who wish to get the permit and those who want to benefit through money from the permit. So bargaining between these two groups of polluters can give rise to a market for pollution rights. So polluters, they either purchase the right to pollute or they abate. Whichever is cheaper, they will go for the cheaper alternative. For high-cost abaters, they will normally buy or bid for available permits, and they will get it from low-cost abaters. The market sells obtain it from low-cost abaters. So low-cost abaters tend to abate, meaning they control pollution in their company themselves, and the permits that they already have, because they manage to pollute below their level, the maximum level. Sometimes they obtain these permits, or sometimes they themselves have bought pollution allowances, and if they abate and manage to not use their permits, not use the permits to pollute because they have abated, they can sell their permits in the open market. Trading will normally lead to a cost-effective abatement allocation. So how does the permit trading system works? Okay, there will be incentive to trade as long as polluters face different marginal abatement cost levels. So assume that a firm has 50 permits, but normally it emits 75 permits of sulfur dioxide. So what will the firm do if it only has 50 permits but it needs to emit 75 units of pollution? The answer is the firm will try to abate the remaining 25 units of emission, or if the firm cannot abate, because it could be very costly to do so. So the firm will try to buy 25 permits from another producer. So which option will the firm choose? The firm will choose whichever option is cheaper. Sometimes firms have the technology to abate. Sometimes they don't. So whichever option is cheaper. The result of this kind of bargaining will lead to low-cost abaters will tend to clean up the pollution, and they will sell excess permits to other firms. Okay, so low-cost abaters tend to sell permits to others at a price that is desirable for them. They will sell, and the price is normally higher than their marginal abatement cost. Okay, so meaning they will generate some profit or revenue for them, because they will need to pay for their marginal abatement cost. If they can sell at higher than their marginal abatement cost, they definitely will sell their extra permits. While for high cost abaters, they will buy permits rather than abate, and they will buy as long as the price is lower than their marginal abatement cost. So it's a win-win situation for both polluter and for the low cost abater. So the trading will continue as long as there is incentive to do so. They will continue to buy and sell permits. As long as the marginal abatement costs differ greatly, they will continue to buy and sell these permits up to a point where there is no more incentive to do so, which means when their marginal abatement costs become equal, there is no more incentive for them to trade. So it becomes a cost-effective solution actually when all the marginal abatement costs are equal. The end result will be similar to solution for emissions charge. You have to look back at the video for emission charge. The solution would be similar, but this time the government does not impose any kind of tax, and it allows firms to negotiate among themselves, buy and sell the permits that are given or that they are given to them or that they have obtained earlier. Okay, so you'll be getting another video, or you might have seen the other video on pollution permit trading system, a YouTube video that I will give to you to accompany this video. Let's now assess the benefits and the disadvantages of the pollution permit trading system. Note that the cons are the disadvantages. No tax revenues are generated. So this is a disadvantage for the government, because the government is not able to collect tax revenue to do some cleanup of the environment. Apart from that, there is potential for high administrative costs in order to keep record of the trade, buying and selling, and the emission of the different firms. Finally, the system is said to have created pollution hotspots in the area where trading takes place, because there is this trading. It means that they can pollute, so it creates hotspots that are unnecessary actually, right, where the trading takes place, because there is this market for pollution, so the pollution is allowed actually. Okay, there are also advantages of this model. One is trading establishes the price of a right to pollute. So the exact price of pollution, the price of the permit, is actually determined by the polluters themselves through their negotiation, through their trading, without the government trying to search for a price. If you can recall, in the emissions charge model, the government will have to find out the right price. The right price would be the price where MACs are equal. So it's quite impossible to come up to that unless you give them the opportunity to trade among themselves until they can no longer trade, and that is when the price is right. Okay. And the final solution of this model is actually cost effective, because their marginal abatement costs become equal for all firms. One more advantage of this model is trading system is flexible. Flexible in a sense that if the government wish to increase the pollution allowed in the area, the government can simply increase the number of permits, and if they want to reduce pollution, they can reduce the amount of permits are provided. So this is the advantages and disadvantages of the pollution permit trading system. In practice, pollution permit trading system is already practiced by many developed countries. The trading of greenhouse gas is actually a part of the Kyoto Protocol, an international accord aimed at global warming. So for global warming mitigation or reduction through Kyoto Protocol international agreement, trading of the gases that lead to global warming, we call them the greenhouse gases, have already developed trading allowances. Okay, and apart from that, we have Canada, who has a trading program for ozone depleters. This is another issue, which is the ozone that has depleted in the upper layer of our atmosphere. This is not under global warming. This is another issue, which is called ozone depletion. And Denmark has also carbon dioxide emissions allowances. In the United States, the pollution permit trading system has been well developed. There have been many types of trading programs that they have implemented. So this is to control global warming. Sulfur dioxide is a gas that causes global warming. In Malaysia, we don't have the pollution permit trading system. This system is practiced only in developed countries. In developing countries, the practice is not yet there, but in developing countries, these countries are assisted, are helped by more developed countries. If the more developed countries are able to assist the less developed countries, such as Malaysia and other countries, to improve their technology, to abate, to reduce emissions, then the more developed countries, they are given incentive by world body they are able to get more pollution credits if they assist the less developed countries. So that is how this pollution trading system works in reality.